Hello, sports fans, and welcome to a Thursday edition of Jake's Hot Takes. I am your host, as always, Jake McVey, joined by nobody today. It's quite all right. Matt was offered an opportunity to go study with the world's greatest scientists out in a laboratory out in Vienna, Italy. So he is out there studying, quantum particles or something. So he's not going to be around for today, but that's all right. You got me to take care of you, and take care of you. You're going to need me to do, because the Knicks took a hard loss to the Detroit Pistons. This is as of recording game 2. This recording is after the day after game 2. So the Knicks took a hard loss to the Detroit Pistons with a final score of 94-100. And there were a lot of things about this game that I saw that were really concerning. I just want to quickly, kind of give everyone kind of an idea of how everybody was doing tonight. Obviously, the best player on the court, no doubt about it. You can bet your bottom dollar every single time. It was Jalen Brunson. Brunson ended up scoring 37 points on 12 of 27 from the field, 4 of 12 from 3, and 9 of 11 from the free throw line. He also finished the night with 3 rebounds and 7 assists. It was a good performance out of Brunson, but kind of different than I think I was hoping for out of him, because, there were some issues with his play, serious issues. And when it came to the shooting efficiency, the efficiency was not there. He made the clutch plays, don't get me wrong. He was absolutely the reason that we were still in this game late, because there were several times in this game where I think the Knicks could have just completely flattened out and let the Pistons continue to roll all over them, but they didn't. So it's about as good of a loss as I think you can have. They really did try and storm back towards the end there, and Brunson was the forefront of that, but it was an incredibly inefficient night out of Brunson. And that is always kind of a performance that concerns me, especially when a guy is the highest scoring player on the team. I always prefer scoring to come from efficiency, but, you can't deny numbers. 37 points is 37 points. OG Anunoby had another underwhelming performance offensively. I think defensively, OG actually had a pretty good game. He was definitely out there making guys like Tobias Harris and Jalen Duren. He was definitely making them feel the heat a little bit in terms of, his defensive prowess. He wasn't letting guys get open looks on the perimeter, which is always important. And him and Josh Hart, I think, actually had pretty solid defensive performances, which, this is playoff basketball, so none of this is guaranteed. So I was pretty happy to see that. But OG finished the night with 10 points on 4 for 10 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3. And this Knicks team just seems to not be able to shoot three-pointers lately, and it's one of those phenomena that is leaving me a little bit concerned. The three-point shooting numbers across the board have been terrible. Brunson shot 4 for 12, Mikal Bridges shot 3 for 11, OG shot 0 for 4, Towns shot 0 for 2, Josh Hart went 1 for 1. It's like, and the bench isn't any better. Deuce McBride is the only person off the bench that even attempted a 3, and he finished the night with 2 of them. So the three-point shooting is just bad. That's just kind of an inextricable fact of this team right now, is we get a lot of our success from the mid-range, and we get a lot of our success from driving to the lane and getting up in guys' faces, and that's okay. That's an all right mentality to have, but I think that we kind of need to drop the act, I think the offense would look a lot more successful if this team just embraced what they did best and crashed and attacked and kept playing with that physicality, because there was a lot of physicality out of this game. I was loving how the refs were letting these guys play, even though there were some, questionable discrepancies between officiating. I still think that they played a great physical game, and I want to see some of this hostility, some of this aggression carry over into later in the series, because, we're going to Detroit, and you never know how that turns out. Going to play against a hostile fan base, against a very scrappy Detroit team. This game really could go either way. And I think a big portion of it will be, will the Knicks be willing to match the physicality that the Pistons are going to bring? Because the Pistons are going to bring that physicality. And that's just something that you need to be prepared for. Like, this is playoff basketball. And I know that this team hasn't necessarily had the time to gel like that, where they can play like an efficient machine. Kind of like how Detroit has it right now, where they kind of know everybody's role on the court, and those guys kind of stick to that mentality. But this team still hasn't had as much time to gel, so it wouldn't surprise me if there was a little bit of difficulty here and there in terms of everyone knowing their role on the court. Because I don't necessarily know if I know everyone's role on the court right now. But to continue what I was saying, Josh Hart with a Josh Hart game, he got 10 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. Defense was good, pretty much about as good of a game you could have asked for out of Josh Hart. There weren't any really glaring mistakes offensively on his part. And that just brings us to Mikal Bridges, who missed the wide open 3-point shot to tie late in the game. Oh, Mikal Bridges. Oh, man. I see a lot of people drawing a lot of comparisons to Dante DiVincenzo from last year's playoff run, saying, oh, Dante would have made that shot. Dante would have made that shot. Dante made a lot of clutch shots, like that one he had against the 76ers a while ago. And, he had 2 tries on that. Let's not forget that he bricked the first attempt at that shot, and then they got the rebound, and then they dished it out to him, and then he shot it again and he made it. So let's not be glamorizing Dante DiVincenzo like he was this, Steph Curry level player who could just come out and take over any game. I mean, it's like, you just need to be realistic. That being said, it doesn't change the fact that Mikal Bridges still smoked that wide open 3-point shot to tie the game, and that immediately kind of sours my mood going into talking about Mikal Bridges, because he didn't even have a terrible game. Was he inefficient? Yes. Was the defense there? Kind of. He had a few good plays. So I think the defense, I'm a defense wins championships guy. I think the defense was there in presence enough for me to excuse the bad play. Because, basketball players, they miss shots every single game. And I know it's like one of the biggest moments for Mikal Bridges in his Knicks career is getting that kind of look late in a game when we need him, and he completely smoked it. But I'm not going to sit here and freak out and, say the season is over just because Mikal Bridges missed a shot. Newsflash, he missed 10 of them in this game. So definitely frustrating to have that moment right in front of you and miss it. But, realistically, if we deserved to win that game, we wouldn't have put Mikal Bridges in that situation in the first place. It was, the Pistons were just doing too much on all fronts, and it was hard to stop. And it was a bit of a scary watch. I was peeking between my fingers every once in a while because Cade was coming up on these guys like a slasher villain. I mean, jeez. Speaking of Cade Cunningham finishes the night, 33 points on 11 of 21 from the field, 10 for 12 from the free throw line, as well as 12 rebounds and 3 assists. He had such a good game against us. It's kind of ridiculous. He came out swinging. He came out slashing. He came out shooting. He was doing his thing. And realistically, the Knicks did not have any answer for it. Guys like OG Anunoby, who you would think would be like the primary, guys like Josh Hart and OG Anunoby, who you'd think would be some of the primary defenders on Cade, were occupied, plain and simple. They couldn't, they were not there. And oftentimes it was a mismatch where Brunson was the one who ended up guarding Cunningham. And that is just never a recipe for success because, the size difference between Cunningham and Brunson is ginormous. Cunningham is a huge physical guy. And as much as I love Brunson, and he did play some very scrappy defense, he was definitely out there trying, but the result was not there. On paper, Cade was just completely dicing us up. And he wasn't just dicing us up, he was creating opportunities for his other guys with his gravity. A few other Pistons players had pretty good nights. Tobias Harris, 15 points, 6 of 11. Jalen Duren, very efficient night out of him, 3 for 4 from the field, 6 for 6 from the free throw line. It felt like it felt like the team had no answer for Duren, and they just decided that they were gonna foul him, which doesn't really make any sense because I think we have at least 3 guys on our roster that can actively guard Jalen Duren at any moment. I would say OG Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns, and Mitchell Robinson are all very capable of guarding this guy. And for some reason, we let him get to the line quite a few times. Dennis Schroeder, of course, was the other guy that definitely came to play. He only joined the team at the trade deadline, and he ends up dropping 20 points on 6 of 10, 3 of 5 from 3, and garbage everything else. Schroeder was just pure buckets. I mean, he was pure buckets. He was chirping at Jalen Brunson. He was chirping at Mikal Bridges. He was chirping at the Knicks bench. Dennis Schroeder had a big night, and he wanted everyone to hear about it. Dennis Schroeder had like an average Jalen Brunson performance, and he had to let the whole Garden know about it. So, I mean, realistically, it wasn't even an average Brunson performance because he didn't have any assists. But, that's just me being a hater, God's honest truth, because I'm frustrated because I really thought that we were going to be able to storm back the same way that we did in Game 1. And I thought that we had the shot at stealing this game out from underneath them. I mean, we were right there. We were within, we had the game tied, game on the line. And unfortunately, we just didn't perform. And you go take a look at the overall team performances, and it's like the Knicks only had a slightly better three-point shooting night, a slightly worse field goal shooting night. They won the turnover battle, but they got absolutely smoked in the rebound battle. I mean, Cade was just huge for that as well. I believe Cade ended the night with 12 rebounds. Yeah. So Cade ends the night with 12 rebounds. He out-rebounds Karl Anthony Towns. He out-rebounds Mitchell Robinson off the bench, Doi. He out-rebounds Josh Hart. He out-rebounds OG Anunoby. Like, that is just something that you cannot allow to happen if you want to win a basketball game. You need to be at your peak level of physicality in that moment, in that game, and allowing, I know that Cade is like a physical specimen and he's kind of like a physical freak, but you cannot allow a point guard to give his team that many opportunities. I mean, Cade was just doing whatever he wanted out there. He had a lot of second opportunity rebounds, and he just kind of kept it pushing for the Pistons, especially in some moments where their offense was starting to drag. Cade was always there to set the pace and keep them going. And I mean, that's just frustrating to see that there's really just one guy that is facilitating this offense. I mean, I'm sure that's how Pistons fans feel about Jalen Brunson, because I'm sure they are very frustrated seeing him just kind of slice and dice his way, getting in there, getting in the lane every single play, constantly on the attack, constantly putting these guys on their heels. Granted, it wasn't enough to get the victory tonight or last night, but it definitely was a good performance out of Brunson. Don't get me wrong. Was it maybe the optimal performance that I was hoping for out of him? No, but I can still be happy with a good performance, even if it wasn't the optimal performance. And now the last thing that I want to talk about is how this Knicks team that averaged 27.5 assists across the 2024-2025 season per game only managed to put up 15 assists. Now, I'm going to be talking here in a second about why I think the Knicks were unable to generate any sort of ball movement or things of that nature. And it's definitely something that I'm concerned about, but I just want to talk about the impact that it had on the game right now. It did not allow guys that were coming off the bench, and it did not allow the primary ball handlers to get involved. It's why you see that there were such small shot numbers for guys like Josh Hart and for OG Anunoby and for all the guys off the bench. I mean, McBride is the only one who even got any looks. And that is just a result of the team being unable to pass the ball. I mean, it makes sense why Brunson and Bridges had so many points. They're two of the primary ball handlers in this offense. So that was something that I saw that frustrated me quite a bit, but that's okay. When we get back, we're going to be talking about Karl Anthony Towns, because I bet you noticed I didn't mention anything about Karl Anthony Towns. So Make sure you stick around. And Thibodeau, I got some words for you too. So stick around. Jake's Hot Takes, WGNY 1220 94.5 News Talk Sports. We'll be right back after this.
Thinking about remodeling your kitchen or bath? Wayne's Way Wholesale Cabinets has a great selection of all wood cabinets in the styles and colors to make your remodeling dreams come to life. Go to wayneswaycabinets.com for more info. Wayne's Way Cabinets, 1829 South Road, Wappingers Falls. Call 845-280-0880. Stop by and talk to Wayne today. You'll be glad you did. CDS Auto and Truck Repair is your 5-star one-stop shop for all your vehicle's needs from A to Z, offering full vehicle diagnostic. Towing is available, and they now offer fleet service. CDS Auto and Truck Repair. Call 845-563-9987. That's 845-563-9987. CDS Auto and Truck Repair, 2917 Route 9W, New Windsor.
You've long known that Newburgh Auto Spa on Route 17K utilizes top caliber products and the latest technology to give your vehicle the proper maintenance it needs. Whether it be a computerized soft cloth car wash, detailing consisting of a comprehensive bumper-to-bumper cleaning of your entire interior and exterior, or a fuel-efficient oil change from a trained technician, Newburgh Auto Spa is the place to go. Now, Newburgh Auto Spa is a full-service automotive center. That's right, Newburgh Auto Spa now offers tires, brakes, rotors, tune-ups, alternators, and more, all with the same professionalism and quality you've become accustomed to. For a full list of automotive services offered in specials, go to NewburghAutoSpa.com. Whether you need a basic car wash, a quick oil change, or now more extensive automotive service, Newburgh Auto Spa is the place to go. Newburgh Auto Spa, quick, convenient, clean, located at 86 Route 17K and online at NewburghAutoSpa.com. Now offering a full range of automotive services. Newburgh Auto Spa, quick, convenient, clean.
The Roma Deli, 237 Myers Corners Road, Wappingers Falls, is your neighborhood family-owned and operated deli, offering breakfast, lunch, and catering options. The Roma Deli has brought a little piece of the Bronx to Wappingers, including fresh-made sandwiches, Italian specialties, and desserts, all prepared and cooked in-house with authentic Italian ingredients. Their large menu provides lots of options to personalize your order to your taste. Vegan and vegetarian options available. The Roma Deli, offering catering that is perfect for any party or business function. Go to RomaDeli1.com or call 845-297-1200.
Michael's Appliances presents Ask Andy, the appliance expert. Andy, what makes my oven smell so bad when I self-clean?
Self-clean, my favorite weapon in the world. Self-cleaning is a brutal environment. Most people don't think about it. They hear self-clean. I'm not really sure if they're picturing scrubbing bubbles inside there, scrubbing, but what's really happening is we're heating the oven up hot enough to carbonize protein. We're going to take the food stuff that's left in your stove, and we're actually going to carbonize it. We're going to turn it to dust. So we're at 700 degrees. So why does it smell bad? You're setting fire to a chicken. Today, a lot of the new stoves, because of the energy guidelines, there is no real self-clean anymore. They don't want those high temperatures. It's a huge waste of energy. It's very easy. You don't have to get on your hands and knees and your back doesn't hurt. You're not scrubbing the stove, but we use a ton of energy to clean the inside of that stove by heating it up.
Shop with the experts. Nobody knows appliances like Michael's Appliance Center, 585 East Main Street, Middletown. Online at michaelsappliance.com.
Welcome back, NBA playoff basketball fans. The Knicks, for those who weren't here earlier, the Knicks lost 100-94. We got a century piece dropped on us. It was Detroit's first playoff win in like 15 years. So congratulations to the Detroit Pistons for winning a playoff game. I want to talk about the issues that I saw involving Karl Anthony Towns, because the issues that I saw were very concerning. First of all, the big thing that I see when I look at KAT's performance from the other night, Game 2, mind you, this is being recorded before Game 3, Karl Anthony Towns barely shot any three-pointers. Wasn't Karl Anthony Towns marketed to us as the big man who shoots the threes? He's the best shooting big man in the entire NBA, and he only shot 2 3-point shots the entire game. Not to mention, he only shot 11 shots the entire game. I mean, OG Anunoby had shot one less than him. And look, I love OG Anunoby, but he should not be getting as many looks as Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns is, I would say, the second scoring option on this team besides Jalen Brunson. If it's not Brunson looking to score, it should be going to Karl Anthony Towns because he is just a nightmare offensively. He's a nightmare as a mismatch. And guys like Tobias Harris and guys like Jalen Duren, they can't guard him. But for some reason, you know, a guy like Isaiah Stewart, who I would say is much more competent at being able to guard Cat, who played in game 1 but didn't play in game 2, it's like Isaiah Stewart is gone, and then all of a sudden Karl Anthony Towns doesn't perform. It's like, what? It's like Isaiah Stewart was the one guy that was physical enough to guard you out there. And now that he's gone, you're just going to shrink and disappear. And Cat looked frustrated. I felt frustrated watching that game. I was like, man, what is going on? But the main concern that I think caused this, my big issue, is it was a little bit of a personal problem with Jalen Brunson. I got a little bit of a bone to pick with JB. I know Captain Clutch, his name is sacred in this house, of course, but I'm on the radio, and all basketball players are subject to criticism, no matter how much I love them or no matter how much they've done for our franchise. So Jalen Brunson, the main concern was he was a bit of a ball hog. He definitely seemed like he had something to prove, and he manifested that by holding on to the ball a lot and not necessarily facilitating the offense to its fullest extent. And you know what? I got to stop sugarcoating this because this is something that I actually am frustrated about. It's not that Jalen Brunson didn't facilitate the offense to its fullest extent. It's that at some points he seemed to actively value his own opportunity to score over his ability to facilitate the offense. And facilitating the offense is his primary role. I know that he is a great scorer, but ultimately the team cannot be successful. The team cannot win if Jalen Brunson refuses to swing the rock and he refuses to allow guys to get a high volume of opportunities like he gives himself. And it iced guys out of the game offensively. OG Anunoby looked cold. Karl Anthony Towns looked cold. Like, both of these guys are known, have been known as the season came to a close for their ability to score and go out there. And OG Anunoby as a pace setter, a guy that will consistently get you a couple buckets, make sure the game stays alive. And of course, Karl Anthony Towns, everything that he's accomplished. But when Brunson is not allowing these guys the looks that they should be getting, that is when the problems arise. And don't for a second say that the Pistons did a wonderful job of occupying the passing lanes, because the looks were there. The looks were absolutely there. OG had some great looks where Brunson didn't pass the ball. And you know what? Mikal Bridges kind of had the same problem too, where whenever Mikal Bridges got his hands on the ball, it felt like he was more focused on scoring a bucket than facilitating the offense. But Mikal Bridges, we know that he's a score-first guy. Like, that kind of behavior is expected out of him. If he's taking up too much volume, if he's not allowing enough looks for other guys, then that's something that we need to address as a team. But when it comes to Brunson, it's all personal play. It's all Brunson's decisions whether or not he wants to facilitate this offense or not. And last night he didn't. And I think in game 1 against the Pistons, he did do a really good job facilitating the offense. And that's why we managed to get that big rallying comeback, because this team has always played better throughout all of, I'll say even across the entirety of basketball history. Basketball teams have performed much better when they get multiple guys involved and they get the entire team involved and they get the team rocking and they get the team feeling good about themselves. But I couldn't possibly imagine OG Anunoby or Karl Anthony Towns are feeling good about themselves after this game. And Cat looked frustrated. I watched Cat run around and flail his arms around all game and play a little bit of defense, which Cat did actually have a decent defensive moment here and there. Granted, it wasn't great around the board. It was a foul-heavy game for Cat. But that shouldn't matter, because the opportunities that Brunson should have been facilitating and that he normally does facilitate, he just wasn't. And I think that ultimately was the crux of it. I know a lot of people were incredibly frustrated at Towns for this game. People throw a lot of blame around on Towns because, he's the reason that the Nova Knicks got broken up. We traded Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo for him. And I understand the feeling of like, oh, I wanted to see, Bridges and Hart and Brunson and DiVincenzo all on the same team because they all went to college together. It's like, yeah, that's cool. And I totally understand like the vibes of having those Nova Knicks. But at the same time, man, Karl Anthony Towns is a significantly better player than both of these guys. And I think anybody who's discussing this topic knows that Karl Anthony Towns is significantly better than Dante DiVincenzo and Julius Randle. And the fact that we have him on our team now isn't something that we should be taking for granted. He is a phenomenal offensive force. And even though this game didn't necessarily prove that, I am almost certain that he's going to pick up the pace as this series comes to as this series enters its next exciting chapter as we head to Detroit. And now I want to get into a little bit about the coaching, because Thibodeau is not doing enough. And I know you can say, well, Jake, what are you talking about? I mean, he can't go out there and score some buckets for us. He's only the coach. But I think that there's a serious issue with Thibodeau right now where he is not correcting his players' bad behavior. Because I'll tell you what, he watched the same game that I did. And he's a much smarter basketball mind than I am. I'll admit that. I mean, I'm just a guy who talks on the radio. He's an actual basketball coach. So he probably knows a lot more about basketball than I do. But he refused to correct this issue that Brunson had, where he was taking up the volume and he was not facilitating well. And I feel like that's a conversation that you as a coach need to be able to sit down and have with your star player, but it felt like those two weren't even interested in having a conversation at any point during the game. And when a coach allows that kind of play to go unchecked, and he just allows Brunson to basically street ball his way through this Pistons game, I can see why the rest of the team would be frustrated. I could see why a guy like Josh Hart would get frustrated watching Jalen Brunson go out there and, work his butt off, but ultimately do the team more harm than good by making everybody else in the game feel cold. I mean, the Karl Anthony Towns was in that game for the entirety of the fourth quarter, and he did not attempt a shot. I feel like Karl Anthony Towns should have at least attempted a basketball shot in the 12 minutes that he played in a playoff basketball quarter while we're down. It's like, does Thibodeau not have any faith in anyone on this team other than Jalen Brunson? And that's why he's allowing Brunson to just go out there and cook and do his thing? It's baffling to me. It's baffling to me. And this is the issue with Thibodeau, is that Thibodeau does not have game plans per se. He he sets up the set and then he just lets the guys run it. And I always appreciated that he would trust our guys to facilitate and score and rebound in a set instead of with, set plans and planned action and planned motion. I always respected that style of coaching out of Thibodeau, but being a coach also means being able to make adjustments. You can't just wind this team up and set them down on the table and expect them to go win a playoff game for you. You need to be able to actively make corrections, especially when it's one of your star players. So when he saw Jalen Brunson going out there ball hogging, that's what I'm going to call it because that's what it was. He was ball hogging. And guys like Towns and Anunoby weren't getting their due involvement. Like, of course these guys are going to feel demoralized that Thibodeau is not advocating for them on their team. And I'm not trying to create like a civil war scenario where it's Karl Anthony Towns and OG Anunoby versus Jalen Brunson and Tom Thibodeau. I mean, I'm sure that Anunoby and Towns understand the mentality that Brunson has, where he knows that he is the best scoring option on the court, so he wants to try and take over the game and get it done himself. But ultimately, that is a selfish basketball mentality, and a selfish basketball mentality has not won you much of anything unless your name is Kobe Bryant. But ultimately, we don't have Kobe Bryant, so I'm sure that was obvious. But no, I mean, the ball hogging out of Brunson just made the team feel like they were out of sync. And when the team is out of sync, I know that Brunson is the facilitator, and guys like McBride or Campaign are expected to also help with facilitation off the bench. But ultimately, it is a coach's responsibility to set the team straight when they look out of sync. And I think that Thibodeau completely failed to do that in Game 2. So hopefully, if these issues persist into Game 3 and onward, Tom Thibodeau will, do his due diligence as a coach and correct guys and put guys on the right path. But until then, I'm not holding my breath. When we get back, I have a little more Knicks talk. I love playoff basketball. This is so exciting. I get to talk about so many cool things. So make sure you stick around right here on Jake's Hot Takes, only on WGNY 1220 94.5 News Talk Sports. We'll be right back after this.
Thinking about remodeling your kitchen or bath? Wayne's Way Wholesale Cabinets has a great selection of all wood cabinets in the styles and colors to make your remodeling dreams come to life. Go to wayneswaycabinets.com for more info. Wayne's Way Cabinets, 1829 South Road, Wappingers Falls. Call 845-280-0880. Stop by and talk to Wayne today. You'll be glad you did. CDS Auto and Truck Repair is your 5-star one-stop shop for all your vehicle's needs from A to Z, offering full vehicle diagnostics. Towing is available, and they now offer fleet service. CDS Auto and Truck Repair. Call 845-563-9987. That's 845-563-9987. CDS Auto and Truck Repair, 2917 Route 9W, New Windsor.
You've long known that Newburgh Auto Spa on Route 17K utilizes top caliber products and the latest technology to give your vehicle the proper maintenance it needs. Whether it be a computerized soft cloth car wash, detailing consisting of a comprehensive bumper-to-bumper cleaning of your entire interior and exterior, or a fuel-efficient oil change from a trained technician, Newburgh Auto Spa is the place to go. Now, Newburgh Auto Spa is a full-service automotive center. That's right, Newburgh Auto Spa now offers tires, brakes, rotors, tune-ups, alternators, and more, all with the same professionalism and quality you've become accustomed to. For a full list of automotive services offered in specials, go to NewburghAutoSpa.com. Whether you need a basic car wash, a quick oil change, or now more extensive automotive service, Newburgh Auto Spa is the place to go. Newburgh Auto Spa, quick, convenient, clean, located at 86 Route 17K and online at NewburghAutoSpa.com. Now offering a full range of automotive services. Newburgh Auto Spa, quick, convenient, clean.
The Roma Deli, 237 Myers Corners Road, Wappingers Falls, is your neighborhood family-owned and operated deli, offering breakfast, lunch, and catering options. The Roma Deli has brought a little piece of the Bronx to Wappingers, including fresh-made sandwiches, Italian specialties, and desserts, all prepared and cooked in-house with authentic Italian ingredients. Their large menu provides lots of options to personalize your order to your taste. Vegan and vegetarian options available. The Roma Deli, offering catering that is perfect for any party or business function. Go to RomaDeli1.com or call 845-297-1200.
Michael's Appliances presents Ask Andy, the appliance expert. Andy, what makes my oven smell so bad when I self-clean?
Self-clean, my favorite weapon in the world. Self-cleaning is a brutal environment. Most people don't think about it. They hear self-clean. I'm not really sure if they're picturing scrubbing bubbles inside there, but what's really happening is we're heating the oven up hot enough to carbonize protein. We're going to take the food stuff that's left in your stove, and we're actually going to carbonize it. We're going to turn it to dust. So we're at 700 degrees. So why does it smell bad? You're setting fire to a chicken. Today, a lot of the new stoves, because of the energy guidelines, there is no real self-clean anymore. They don't want those high temperatures. It's a huge waste of energy. It's very easy. You don't have to get on your hands and knees and your back doesn't hurt. You're not scrubbing the stove, but we use a ton of energy to clean the inside of that stove by heating it up.
Shop with the experts. Nobody knows appliances like Michael's Appliance Center, 585 East Main Street, Middletown. Online at michaelsappliance.com.
Welcome back. The situation is just fine. Knicks fans that are panicking and slamming their fist down on the big red button right now, they need to calm down. If you're a Knicks fan and you think the season is over, relax, listen to the sound of my voice, close your eyes. If you're driving, keep them open. Keep your eyes open if you're driving. But if you're sitting down, close your eyes and just listen to the sound of my voice. It is going to be just fine. The Knicks are going to be just fine for this series. Next series, second round, I don't know, but we're going to be fine for right now. And now it's back to talking about negative things about the Knicks, because you look at the box score, you watch the game, you check the Twitter highlights, and you notice there's a seriously glaring issue between the Knicks and the Pistons right now. It is that, both of these teams are running 9-guy deep rosters, or at least for game 2, they both ran 9-guy deep rosters. Only one guy off the Knicks bench was able to score anything. I mean, the Knicks had Mitchell Robinson, Cam Payne, Deuce McBride, and Landry Shamet all coming off the bench. And Deuce McBride was the only one who managed to put up any significant stat line with 8 points and 1 rebound and 0 assists. It was a terrible night from our bench, especially if you compare it to the Pistons bench. The Pistons had Malik Beasley score 9 off the bench. They had Dennis Schroeder scored 20 points off the bench, and they had Paul Reed scored 6 points off the bench. I mean, Paul Reed is their lowest scorer, and he was 2 points behind our only scorer. I mean, goodness, this Knicks starting lineup has been so front-loaded. There's nobody on the bench to help us anymore. There is no help coming. Mitchell Robinson is not the player that he was anymore. And I'm incredibly frustrated by it because he played 20 minutes. He put up 0 points. He got 7 rebounds. And, I mean, that's what we expect out of Mitchell Robinson. But he was also 0 for 2 from the field. And I would have just liked to see him make at least one of those. But it's okay, because at this point, I'm not even sure how necessary the bench actually is to the Knicks being able to win games. I mean, these starting 5 guys have shown that they have the conditioning to literally run circles around your favorite starters day in and day out. These guys have been playing the most minutes for the entirety of the season. They all have just been hustling out there. So it makes me wonder how necessary the bench actually is. But you see like the great performances that the Pistons starting lineup had that were complemented by the great performances that their bench players had. And I get a little jealous. I'm a little jealous of the Pistons right now because they have a really good bench and we don't. And I mean, you look at the minutes that the bench got, and it's not like I'm that surprised. I mean, Mitchell Robinson was the only one to have 20 minutes. The rest of the guys, Cam Payne had 4 minutes, Shamet had 5, and McBride had 13. And I'll say this, for what it's worth, McBride definitely maximized his 13 minutes out on the court. He hit a big 3-point shot that literally had me on my feet in that third quarter. And that is when I was like, all right, I think Knicks are back. Granted, it didn't end that way, but Deuce McBride, you know what? He gets a pass for what I'm about to talk about right now. Because the amount of minutes that these guys are getting is simply unacceptable. I trust Landry Shamet to go out there on 10 minutes and get me a bucket or 2. But it seems like Thibodeau doesn't trust the bench right now. And on the one hand, I kind of understand the philosophy because the bench has been underperforming consistently throughout the entire season. This is the issue that we, as Knicks fans, have been harping on over and over and over again. I feel like I can't even go a single episode without mentioning how terrible this Knicks bench is. But Landry Shamet has always been different. He's always been a piece that can go off, get the crowd going, get the energy going. I feel like he would have fit into this game perfectly. He's scrappy. He would have been, being a little physical, getting a little jabby. And I feel like that is exactly what this team needed. I mean, the Pistons out-physicaled us on several different levels. And I know that Landry Shamet's not the guy that's going to go out there and, put hands on Cade and guard Cade and slow down Cade. But at the very least, he could go out there and keep the Garden rocking, because there were points in this game, like when we were storming back in the fourth quarter and we were, the vibes were good and stuff like that, the crowd noise was great. But during the third quarter, when the Pistons kind of started to walk away with this game, it got quiet. It got really quiet in the Garden in that third quarter when Detroit was like really kind of hammering down on us. It got quiet, and a guy like Shamet can absolutely come in and flip the energy, and that is the role that he's fulfilled on this team at several points throughout the season. So I think if you're in a situation like that where the energy is getting low and guys aren't looking up to it and the fans are looking sad and you know, there's a baby crying up in the nosebleeds and that's just annoying everybody, like Landry Shamet can come out here and get you a tough bucket and show a little hostility and show his muscle a little bit. And all of a sudden, boom, that energy comes back. It comes back in spades. So the fact that Landry Shamet didn't even get any attempts at this point, I might just be the biggest Landry Shamet defender the world has ever seen. But look, this guy has playoff experience. And he has successful playoff experience. So why wouldn't he be? Somebody give me one good reason why Landry Shamet wouldn't be a valuable piece to this offense. I'll wait. If you want to tell me why Landry Shamet wouldn't be a valuable piece of this offense, make sure you send an email to jakeshottakes@wgny.net or send me an Instagram DM on Instagram, Jake's Hot Takes WGNY. Make sure you do it. Thanks. But anyway, the next thing I want to talk about is a lot of people have been saying that they miss last year's team. That core with Dante DiVincenzo and Julius Randle and Isaiah Hartenstein. Let's keep things into perspective here, folks. All right, let's be real about what that Knicks team last year really was, and that was it was a team that was bound together by the power of friendship, and that is a team that is always a lot of fun to watch. But if you go through the stats, you look at this with a critical eye, this Knicks team this year is 100% better than the Knicks team last year. I mean, you compare points per game, and the current Knicks have it by an average of 3 more points per game. That being said, last year's Knicks averaged 3 more rebounds than this year's Knicks. So, you know, there's a little bit of a balance there, but then you go back to the assists and it falls in favor of the current Knicks again, 27.5 to 24.4. When it comes to steals and blocks, it is a split between current Knicks with the steals. We have almost 1 more steal per game, and last year's Knicks had a slightly higher average blocks per game. Although I will say, in the field goal range, this Knicks team is significantly better, and in the 3-point range, the last year's Knicks were slightly better, and I guess that makes sense because this Knicks team has had a complete, you know, the death of a 3-point shooter situation where there is just nobody on the court who seems like they can consistently make threes. Remember when OG Anunoby was dropping like 4 threes during the regular season, and Karl Anthony Towns was dropping like 3 3-point shots, and yeah, I do kind of miss that. And I understand the idea of like, oh, there weren't a lot of superstars on the team last year and they can, you know, they gelled together better and they were a better fit schematically. I also think that is an incorrect statement because we haven't seen the potential of what this core of Knicks players is capable of. Like, I know that we want to go out there and win a championship this year. We want this year to be the year. But realistically, Mikal Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns are still finding their role on the team. And I think a game like this, like a playoff game against the Pistons, Game 2, is a perfect example of the struggles that a team can face when the going gets rough and guys don't necessarily have a defined role on the team. Karl Anthony Towns looks like he has no idea what he's doing out there. Probably because Tom Thibodeau has no idea what Karl Anthony Towns is doing out there. And that leads to Jalen Brunson having no idea what Karl Anthony Towns is doing out there. Like, do we want Cat as a rebound first guy, like a rebound and paint guy, or do we want him to be a dangerous 3-point shooting big man like he was advertised to us as when he first came to the team? And it's the same thing with Mikal Bridges. Do we want him to be a defense first guy, or do we want him to go out there and be a lethal scoring threat? Because it seems like he can't do both right now. So, I mean, yes, I understand that there was a lot of team cohesion on the Knicks last year. The guys might have had a little bit more of a glue amongst each other. But ultimately, I think that this team is significantly more talented. And I think that the Knicks team of last year was more so of a miracle run that they got to where they did. This team, if they make it to the second round or beyond, it is not going to be because of the power of friendship. It's going to be because they have a lethal starting roster that consists of one of the most clutch facilitators in the league in Jalen Brunson, one of the best shooting big men in Karl Anthony Towns, a defensive and offensive threat in Mikal Bridges, a gadget guy in Josh Hart, and a pace setter in OG Anunoby. Mwah. Chef's kiss. I know that we like the other guys, but man, this team just has so much potential. And even if it doesn't go our way for this season, I am still holding a lot of faith that this team will be able to successfully perform and go further than they did last season, or hopefully this season in the coming years. That's just me. That's just my take. If you like my takes, make sure you follow me on Instagram at Jake's Hot Takes WGNY, or send me an email at jakesHotTakes@wgny.net. Make sure you send them in. I'm really excited to see what you all have to say. And when we get back, I'm just going to be closing out the day by talking about some of the other playoff series. We're done with the Knicks talk, so make sure you stick around. I got a couple funny things to say about these other playoff series. We got some wacky goofiness going on, so make sure you stick around. I'm Jake McVey, Jake's Hot Takes, WGNY 1220 94.5 News Talk Sports. Remember the name. We'll be right back after this.
Thinking about remodeling your kitchen or bath? Wayne's Way Wholesale Cabinets has a great selection of all wood cabinets in the styles and colors to make your remodeling dreams come to life. Go to wayneswaycabinets.com for more info. Wayne's Way Cabinets, 1829 South Road, Wappingers Falls. Call 845-280-0880. Stop by and talk to Wayne today. You'll be glad you did. CDS Auto and Truck Repair is your 5-star one-stop shop for all your vehicle's needs from A to Z, offering full vehicle diagnostics. Towing is available, and they now offer fleet service. CDS Auto and Truck Repair. Call 845-563-9987. That's 845-563-9987. CDS Auto and Truck Repair, 2917 Route 9W, New Windsor.
You've long known that Newburgh Auto Spa on Route 17K utilizes top caliber products and the latest technology to give your vehicle the proper maintenance it needs. Whether it be a computerized soft cloth car wash, detailing consisting of a comprehensive bumper-to-bumper cleaning of your entire interior and exterior, or a fuel-efficient oil change from a trained technician, Newburgh Auto Spa is the place to go. Now, Newburgh Auto Spa is a full-service automotive center. That's right, Newburgh Auto Spa now offers tires, brakes, rotors, tune-ups, alternators, and more, all with the same professionalism and quality you've become accustomed to. For a full list of automotive services offered in specials, go to NewburghAutoSpa.com. Whether you need a basic car wash, a quick oil change, or now more extensive automotive service, Newburgh Auto Spa is the place to go. Newburgh Auto Spa, quick, convenient, clean, located at 86 Route 17K and online at NewburghAutoSpa.com. Now offering a full range of automotive services. Newburgh Auto Spa, quick, convenient, clean.
The Roma Deli, 237 Myers Corners Road, Wappingers Falls, is your neighborhood family-owned and operated deli, offering breakfast, lunch, and catering options. The Roma Deli has brought a little piece of the Bronx to Wappingers, including fresh-made sandwiches, Italian specialties, and desserts, all prepared and cooked in-house with authentic Italian ingredients. Their large menu provides lots of options to personalize your order to your taste. Vegan and vegetarian options available. The Roma Deli, offering catering that is perfect for any party or business function. Go to RomaDeli1.com or call 845-297-1200.
Michael's Appliances presents Ask Andy, the appliance expert. Andy, what makes my oven smell so bad when I self-clean?
Self-clean, my favorite weapon in the world. Self-cleaning is a brutal environment. Most people don't think about it. They hear self-clean. I'm not really sure if they're picturing scrubbing bubbles inside there, but what's really happening is we're heating the oven up hot enough to carbonize protein. We're going to take the food stuff that's left in your stove, and we're actually going to carbonize it. We're going to turn it to dust. So we're at 700 degrees. So why does it smell bad? You're setting fire to a chicken. Today, a lot of the new stoves, because of the energy guidelines, there is no real self-clean anymore. They don't want those high temperatures. It's a huge waste of energy. It's very easy. You don't have to get on your hands and knees and your back doesn't hurt. You're not scrubbing a stove, but we use a ton of energy to clean the inside of that stove by heating it up.
Shop with the experts. Nobody knows appliances like Michael's Appliance Center, 585 East Main Street, Middletown. Online at michaelsappliance.com.
Welcome back, playoff basketball fans. It's Jake McVey right here on Jake's Hot Takes. Yeah, it's time to go. All right. So I got just a couple thoughts on a couple of these playoff series that are coming in. I'm not going to talk about Boston or Cleveland, just because I really don't. I watched and I didn't see anything that I thought was really worth talking about. It's kind of exactly as we were expecting. And plus the 1 and 2 seed matchups in the East are kind of boring, so I'm just going to skip over those. And I'm going to jump to the 1 seed matchup in the West, because oh my God, Oklahoma City is destroying Memphis. I mean, it's got to feel pretty awful for Memphis fans at this point. I mean, you had 4 of your 5 starters score in the double digits. Jaren Jackson got up to 26, John Morant got up to 23, Des Bane got up to 19, and Scottie Pippen Jr. got up to 13. And they even had Santi Aldama dropping 10 off the bench, and it just was not enough. This Thunder team is so lethal, with Chet dropping 20, Jalen Williams dropping 24. You had Shea dropping 27 and Alex Caruso off the bench dropping 13. Goodness. The defense and the offense coming from this Oklahoma City team, they seem to be the team that has gelled the best. I think they have the strongest core in the entire NBA. And if it's not the Knicks, I got the Thunder winning it all this year. I just wanted to highlight 118-99, the thorough thrashing that Oklahoma City has bestowed upon Memphis. It's like, yeah, you won the play-in. This is your reward. You get to get completely smoked. This is what happens when you lose to the Warriors in the play-in. It's just a terrible situation. Now, pivoting real quick, I want to talk about the LA Lakers and the Timberwolves. Very scrappy going that they had last night. Final score of 94-85 in favor of the Lakers. This was one that really kind of got my blood going, Luka was hitting tough shots early in the game, and the Timberwolves were responding with a lot of physicality. They were crashing, they were running, they were jumping, they were dunking, they were shooting. Pretty much exactly what you would expect out of a very high-energy Timberwolves team. Something that I will notice is that Jackson Hayes actually didn't have a terrible job in forcing himself in the paint against Rudy Gobert. I mean, Gobert is just... I know I said that I was a Rudy Gobert defender and that we need to put a little respect on Rudy's name, but man, Gobert was bad. And they were kind of picking on him all game because, Rudy is not very well liked in LA. I mean, I'm sure anybody who's watched basketball before can tell you that. But it was rough, and they were going at him all night, and they were doing their thing, and LeBron and Luka seem like they're really falling in sync now. They seem like a really dangerous combination. I remember at one point, Luka got the inbound and just slingshot it down the court. I was like, what on earth is he doing? And Bron got it, just hit the turnaround jumper. I was like, what? It was ridiculous. This Lakers team is just so much fun, so exciting to watch. Rui Hachimura actually got in there and actually had some physical plays. He was playing some physical defense. So Rui was a guy where when he went to the Lakers a couple of years ago, I was like, oh yeah, all right, it's probably a good acquisition. But I did not expect him to actually be having significant moments in a playoff series for him. So good for you, Rui Hachimura. And then the last thing I'll say is that Gabe Vincent hit an insane shot, and I just could not imagine. I mean, I remember he did the exact same thing when he played the Knicks, and I remember it hit just as hard then as it did now. And I'm not even a Timberwolves fan. I don't even particularly like the Timberwolves. And watching Gabe Vincent just hit that impossible contested shot, I was like, Gabe Vincent of all people, no! So, this one was a really fun one, real physical. I did not expect Minnesota to snag that first game, so this game kind of just, reset my expectations. I still think the Lakers are going to come away with it, so, take that as it will. Pivoting now to Golden State and Houston, Warriors and Rockets. Final score of 95-85, game 1 of that series. This is going to be another electric one. I mean, this is basically Steph Curry and the Golden State dynasty's last hurrah, their last battle cry to try and, reach the promised land once more. And I'm going to go off topic a little bit here, but I legitimately think that if Steph manages to secure another ring before the end of his career for Golden State, I think Steph Curry probably has to be like a top 4 or 5 player of all time, right? I mean, 5 rings and everything that he has done, unanimous MVP, like, we need to start having that conversation, right? Because Steph is probably right now, he could probably go anywhere between like your 8 to 12 in that range. But another ring under his belt and another incredible season like he had this one where people were really counting him out, and then he managed to bring the Warriors back from the brink of annihilation in the play-in and upset the 2 seed and go from there. I mean, it would just be an insane story. And I'm talking about this like it's a possibility because I think it's a possibility. Jimmy Butler, the instant playoff riser that he is, looked phenomenal. 10 of 19 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3. He finishes the night with 25 points, not to mention the 7 rebounds and 6 assists. It was a good game out of Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy is this force that as soon as it hits the postseason, all of a sudden he starts looking like prime Jordan. And Curry was looking like prime Curry against the Rockets. He finishes the night with 31 points, 12 of 19 from the field, 5 of 9 from 3. Finishes the game with 6 rebounds and 3 assists. Man, I mean, the Warriors are definitely more of a top-heavy team right now. I'm not sure that they necessarily have the bench to go up against a team like the Thunder because, I don't think that Golden State's going to beat Oklahoma City. I just don't think that they have the depth. I mean, it's like every guy on that Thunder team can go out there and give you some buckets. But, I mean, this Rockets team is no slouch. I mean, you had Şengün doing his thing out there, 26 points, 11 of 18, 1 for 2 from 3. And then you had Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks also getting up into the double digits. But other than Jabari Smith Jr., who also got 11 points, I mean, the Rockets were quiet this game. And the Golden State Warriors definitely seem like they kind of have blood in mind. They're going straight for the throat. The most expensive backpack in the NBA, he didn't really do much. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of a bum. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not even going to talk about this guy. He's a slime ball. He's a dirt ball. And then the last team that I want to talk about is the Clippers and the Nuggets because, wow, a lot of physicality in this one. And I saw a lot of things that I really liked out of the Clippers. I mean, Kawhi Leonard looked like prime Kawhi Leonard with a monstrous 39 points, 15 of 19 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3. And he was moving out there like old Kawhi. I was like, whoa, what is he doing out there? He managed to get this monster dunk in the third quarter, and I thought that his legs were going to explode, but they didn't. He just kept on playing basketball. It was incredible. He had a physical play, and Kawhi Leonard kept on playing basketball. I was so shocked. And honestly, if Kawhi continues to play like this, the Clippers have a pretty good shot. I mean, Jokic always does his thing. Jokic finishes the night 26 points, 8 for 16, 4 for 8 from 3. As well as 12 rebounds and 10 assists. He got the triple-double, but, Jokic can't do Jokic can do anything he wants. Jokic can't do everything. And this Clippers team seems like the Nuggets might have almost overlooked this Clippers team, and now they're here right now, and the series is tied 1-1, and they're headed to LA. And this is not a great situation for the Nuggets to be in. I'm sure they would feel much more comfortable with this one. Going into LA 2-0. So this is going to be an exciting one that you're definitely going to want to keep an eye out for. One last high performer I will highlight is James Harden. 7 of 17 from the field, 4 for 11 from 3, 7 assists as well. He finishes the night with 18 points. I'm low-key just a Harden fan. I kind of just wanted to mention him. He had a pretty good game. Offensively, doing Harden things like he never stopped. But yeah, that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed, and make sure you're here next Sunday for the next exciting episode. Hopefully the Lakers and Pistons series will have concluded by then, so you'll either see me cry a lot or you'll see me be really excited. Also, we're talking about the draft next episode, so the NFL draft. So make sure you stick around for that. Thank you very much. Same time, same place, right here on WGNY 1220 94.5. News, talk, sports, I've been Jake McVey. This has been Jake's Hot Takes. Tune in next Sunday at noon, and I'll see you then.